Today I have a notebook for Cameron Whitcomb, and I originally finished this in October 2024. And every time I make a notebook, I put a QR code inside that the person can scan, and then it takes them back to the video about how I made it. And so the video that's attached to Cameron's notebook is different from this one. I wanted to update the audio because a lot has happened since October. I should also mention that you will see a sunbeam in this video, which is something I have not really seen since October. When I started making this notebook, I just did it basically to thank Cameron for doing an interview with me in 2022, and there was no guarantee that he would get it. But spoiler alert, he did get it, and he said it was incredible, and that made me feel really, really good. So initially we did the interview on Zoom shortly after Cameron was eliminated from American Idol, and he was really young at the time. I think he was only like 18 or 19 years old, so I felt creepy because I'm a lot older than him. At that time, he was such a new artist, he didn't even have any music out yet, and so basically from that time until now, I was waiting for him to go on tour and come to where I live. And then finally one day it was announced that he was coming to where I live, but the venue was not wheelchair accessible. I asked him if we could meet up outside, and he said yes, but that ended up not happening either because there was a giant snowstorm. But it was a blessing in disguise because then he was allowed to play in a bigger venue, which is accessible. So I got a ticket for that. And then unknown to me, you could also buy a meet and greet package separately, and I didn't know that. And so the people that run the building wouldn't let me in the building because he was doing his meet and greet stuff. And I understand, like, you can't just crash a meet and greet that people paid for. Well, technically you can because that's what I did. I was told I couldn't go in until Cameron was done, and that was okay. But they let me in just before he was done, and I didn't want to get in trouble. So I just quietly made my way up to the front and waited for everybody to have their time with him. They had a little fence there, and I just was like very quiet and was like, "Hi, Cameron." And I didn't know if he'd remember me or not. And his face lit up, and he was like, "Oh my Lord, I'm so happy to see you." And he tried to jump the fence, but then he realized he should probably just walk around. He gave me the biggest hug, and he told everybody in that room that I was one of the first people to interview him. And I could just tell in that moment that it meant a lot to him that someone believed in him at that time. And I was just really happy that it all worked out.